Deep in the Amazon, a shadow waits. A master of disguise, the Sunbittern stands frozen against the rushing currents of time. Predatory eyes, red as rubies, scan the emerald gloom. Every blink is a calculation. Every movement is a ghost in the leaves. But when the veil drops, a terrifying beauty emerges. These are not just wings. They are a warning written in ancient fire. Even the vibrant morpho butterfly dances on the edge of this lethal stillness, unaware of the predator watching from the moss. Stealth is its primary language. Each step into the river mud is silent, a rhythmic bobbing that defies the forest's chaos. High above the water, a mother's labor begins. She crafts a cradle from the very earth, mixing mud with primal instinct. Together, the pair reinforces their fortress. In this green cathedral, cooperation is the only shield against the coming storms. The nest is finished, a masterpiece of organic engineering. It waits, hidden in plain sight, for the arrival of a new legacy. One precious egg, speckled like the forest floor, is settled into the warmth. Here, the 99-day countdown to maturity begins. The sky breaks. Tropical rain hammers the canopy, but the mother remains a living shield, guarding the spark of life within. Hunger never sleeps. The father returns with a silver offering, a vital sacrifice to sustain the mother through her long vigil. Day 22. A microscopic tremor shakes the shell. Inside, a tiny heartbeat begins to drum against the walls of its prison. The breakthrough. A sharp beak shatters the calcium barrier. It is a violent, exhausting struggle to enter a world that wants it dead. Wet, frail, and gasping, the hatchling emerges. It is a helpless speck of gray in a vast, unforgiving wilderness of predators. But as the down dries, a survivor is revealed. The journey has started, and the forest is already testing its new inhabitant. The arsenal is forged in hunger. A dragonfly's life ends so the chicks can continue, fueling the rapid growth of a predator. Hygiene is survival. The mother discards the evidence of birth, casting the shell into the stream to hide their location from trackers. Day 35. Spiky pin feathers erupt like biological armor. The chick is transforming, shedding its innocence for the tools of the hunt. Nature as fury tests the foundation. As the branch sways in the gale, the mother's wings become a fortress of bared feathers. At 45 days, the chick stands on the precipice. It looks down at the water, sensing the lethal power coiled in its Dina. The leap of faith. Gravity pulls, but instinct pushes. The juvenile bird tumbles into the unknown, leaving the safety of the nest. Impact. The riverbank is a harsh teacher. Wet and shaken, the bird rises, shaking off the water to face its new reality. The father becomes the mentor. Side by side, they watch the flow, learning the art of the strike in the dappled light. A flash of silver. The master shows the way, his neck a spring-loaded spear that never misses its mark in the current. The first attempt fails. A water strider escapes, leaving only ripples. Failure is the first lesson in the long road to mastery. Camouflage is the ultimate weapon. When the hawk's shadow passes, the birds vanish, becoming one with the ferns and the stones. Curiosity leads to danger. A chase after a butterfly ends in a tumble, reminding the juvenile that every move has a consequence. A life test. The mother brings a struggling frog, forcing the chick to engage with a prey that fights back with every leap. The struggle is raw. The chick grapples with the slippery amphibian, finally conquering the meal that will define its growing strength. Night brings a temporary peace. Under the father's wing, the juvenile rests, dreaming of the hunts that will fill its future days. Molting begins. The gray down falls away, revealing the sharp, high-contrast bars that mark the transition from child to lethal hunter. Practice makes perfect. The juvenile snaps its wings open, testing the visual weight of the sun eyes that will one day save its life. A giant enters. The capybara's massive weight deforms the mud, a reminder that in this forest, size is a power of its own. Fear is a signal. The juvenile retreats, its feathers tensed, learning to measure the distance between curiosity and a fatal encounter. The father intervenes. He unleashes the full sun eye display, a biological hallucination that stops the giant rodent in its heavy tracks. The threat recedes. The capybara chooses the water, leaving the bank to the small bird that dared to look like a monster. A moment of pride. The juvenile mimics the display, receiving a gentle preen from the father, a passing of the defensive torch. Day 65. The hunt deepens. Perched on a submerged branch, the juvenile waits for the one ripple that means a feast. Success. A silverfish is caught in a perfect strike. The student has become the predator, mastering the spear of its ancestors. As the sun sets on day 70, a subadult silhouette stands tall. It is no longer a chick, it is a king. The gauntlet begins with a betrayal. The father turns aggressive, driving the son away. Independence is forced through the strike of a beak. Alone in the emerald gloom, the juvenile finds a new log, a solitary throne in a section of the river where no one helps. A shadow coils above. The arboreal snake descends, its tongue flickering toward the heat of the bird. The hunt is on. Strike and counter-strike. The bird dodges the venomous fangs, unleashing the sun eyes to shatter the serpent's focus in a burst of color. The snake retreats. The bird stands tall, ruffling its feathers. It has survived its first true test of life and death alone. Hunger drives the next battle. A stream crab fights back with serrated claws, but the bird's precision shatters the calcified armor. Maturity is a masterpiece. The plumage is now perfect, the ruby eyes glowing with the fire of a bird that has seen the abyss. A call for a partner. The melodic whistle pierces the humid air, a signal that the cycle is ready to begin once more. A response from the mist. A partner arrives, and the two dance a reptile-like ballet on the stones of the ancient river. The first mud clump is placed. A new nest, a new legacy, and the drone reveals the vastness of their eternal struggle. The second cycle starts. The new king surveys his domain, his orange legs anchored in the stone as the river roars below. Construction is a ritual. He tears away the moss, clearing the path for a home that must withstand the coming floods. Back to the mud. He dives into the silt, emerging with the heavy building blocks of his future, glistening in the sun. A rival appears. Two masters of disguise face off on a single branch, their ruby eyes locked in a silent, deadly standoff. The sun-eye war. The main bird snaps his wings, a visual explosion that sends the intruder spiraling into a frantic retreat. No time to celebrate. He packs the mud, smoothing the walls with his neck, engineering a fortress against the rainforest's many teeth. The partner returns with leaves, a soft lining for a hard world. Their beaks click in a bond forged in mud and survival. Two eggs now rest in the bowl, shimmering under the moon. They are the twin hopes of a lineage that refuses to die. The flood surges. Murky water laps at the branch, a turbulent monster trying to swallow the nest and the life within. He returns with wood. Together, they reinforce the cradle, standing as a biological shield against the roaring, tea-colored death below. Dawn reveals their victory. The nest stands, they preen each other, the kinetic energy of the storm replaced by the warmth of survival. Double birth. Two beaks shatter the shells simultaneously. A chaotic, wet emergence of two new souls into the green cathedral. The mother gathers them. Two gray specks receive seeking the heat that will turn them into hunters of the swamp. Competition begins early. A dragonfly is the prize, and the siblings grapple for the meal that means growth and power. A sibling rivalry on the edge. They peck and shove, testing their limits while the mud nest holds firm above the rushing stream. The tegu lizard arrives. A bearded predator with a flickering tongue. It crawls toward the nest, sensing the vulnerable chicks within. Total defense. Both parents unleash their wings, a wall of 4 sun eyes that sends the lizard tumbling into the water below. Peace is restored. The family huddles, their barred plumage making them invisible once more as the forest bird calls resume their song. Wing practice reaches a fever pitch. The siblings flap until the dust flies, their pin feathers catching the light of a new day. The leap. 2 silhouettes launch into the air, leaving the nest behind to find their own path through the lianas and ferns. Landing is a crash course. They hit the mossy log, sliding and shaking off the river water, rising as independent spirits. The trio hunts. A master and 2 students, frozen like statues, waiting for the silver flash that will feed their growing bodies. A lesson in failure. The chick catches a leaf, a brown reminder that the river only rewards the truly precise and patient. Success at last. A dragonfly is caught and swallowed, the student finally mastering the spear that will sustain its long life. The hawk returns. They vanish into the shadows, absolute immobility their only shield against the talons that hunt from the sky. The twist is revealed. They are not just hunters, they are strategists. Mutual preening builds the social bonds that protect the entire lineage. Display is a language. They practice the sun-eye dance, not just for defense, but to communicate their strength to the forest itself. The caiman rises, a prehistoric threat from the murky depths. It watches the chicks, waiting for one slip into the water. But the bird is faster. A sudden display and a piercing screech drive the ancient predator back into the bubbles of the deep. Subadults no more. They whistle to the sunset, their voices joining the chorus of the Amazon, claiming their place in the hierarchy. The cycle demands distance. The father drives the son away, A harsh but necessary act to ensure the expansion of their territory. A final goodbye at the river fork. Two siblings diverge, their paths taking them to different corners of the vast, emerald wilderness. Chicxotu finds the swamp, a dark, humid world of duckweed and ancient roots, the perfect stage for a new master of disguise. A bullfrog is conquered. The bird proves its lethal efficiency, swallowing a meal that would choke a lesser creature in the mud. The final mold, a transformation into a ruby-eyed king, his wings now a perfect canvas of evolutionary deception and raw power. The ocelot stalks, a golden ghost in the ferns. It prepares to spring, but the bird's intelligence has already sensed the shift. The ultimate bluff. The sun eyes glow in the dark, a visual hallucination so powerful it forces the jungle cat to retreat in fear. A call for the future. The whistle carries through the swamp, a melodic invitation to a partner who waits in the green gloom. The dance of the third generation. Two spirits merge on the submerged roots, their beaks clicking a promise of a new beginning. The first mud clump of the new era. Construction begins again, a testament to the bird's strategic endurance in a changing world. Generation 4 arrives. A single egg, nestled in the mud, represents the immortal spark of a species that refuses to vanish. The storm returns, but the king is ready. He stands as a biological umbrella, protecting his legacy from the hammering tropical rain. The breakthrough. A new beak shatters the shell, a wet and raw emergence that echoes the very first day of this journey. The first meal. A dragonfly fuels the new life, the father's precision ensuring that the fourth generation starts with a full belly. The snake returns to the nest. A silent killer Trunixu Ning, but the king's vigilance is a wall that cannot be breached. One final display. The sun eyes flare, a biological explosion that drives the serpent away, securing the safety of the new chick. A passing of the torch. The father preens the sun, a quiet moment of biological recognition between the old king and the new. Sunset on the Amazon. A chorus of whistles rises from the banks, a symphony of survivors celebrating another day in the green. The sun eye merges with the sun, a symbolic union of the bird and the light, an eternal image of nature as perfect design. The drone flies away. The river wins forever, a 99-day journey ending only to begin again in the heart of the wild.